We've been gone a while. We've been moving around, but what I got to get to is what you know me for. Let me go ahead and decode this whole situation, man. The Cleveland Browns are at the scouting combine. Todd Monkin spoke. Andrew Berry spoke. We're going to get to the quarterback banter. I'm going to let you know why they got y'all fooled again. They got you lost in the sauce, and you need your boy G. Bush to come back and decode all this. We'll talk about why Malik Willis stuff, all the quarterback banner, is actually laughable at this point. But if you was just paying attention to what they was telling you, you would know what the Cleveland Browns are going to do with the next 120 days. If you don't know, you better ask somebody, preferably your boy G. Bush. We'll come back and do it on the fastest 30 minutes in all the sports. It's Ultimate Browns. Welcome on in to the Ultimate Browns. Your boy G. Bush right back at it. Let's get right off into it. We're not going to waste a lot of time. We got a jam-packed show. People been talking. Streets has been on fire. We're going to get to what I think the Cleveland Browns told you at the scouting combine. And I'm going to tell you exactly why the quarterback competition and the quarterback banter, they fooled you guys again. They got you guys completely fooled one more again. And I think it has a lot to do with what you want to see rather than what they're actually telling you and showing you what they're about to do. But it's okay. We'll break it down for you. Let's talk about this. Let's get to it. One of the quarterbacks that has been mentioned so much the last couple of weeks, and I don't quite understand it, is Malik Willis. So we'll talk about Malik Willis in the context of what he's been doing and what people have been talking about with Malik Willis. The Dogs podcast talked about it. He said there's a lot of smoke right now about the Browns having serious interest in Packers quarterback Malik Willis. Spotrac has Willis projected a 2-year, $71 million contract, which would put him at $35.5 million per year. Jordan Schultz said he's spoken to teams that are interested in signing Willis. The common belief is that the quarterback will sign for at least $30 billion. Reminder that Willis has only started just 6 games in his 4-year NFL career, and he's thrown fewer pass attempts to Shedeur Sanders. Do you think the Browns should be in the Malik Willis sweepstakes? Well, let me just go ahead and give you some context to this. If you're not a Cleveland Browns fan, and maybe you just pulled up lately, one of the things that we always talked about with these quarterbacks is this is the same regime who, when they had Baker Mayfield, what did they tell you? When they had Baker Mayfield, they refused to give Baker Mayfield $30 million plus per year. Baker Mayfield was a quarterback who the Browns drafted number 1 overall, who they had invested multiple dollars in, they tanked for 2 years, going 1-31 to be able to get Baker Mayfield. And when it came down to figuring out whether Baker Mayfield was going to be the guy, the Cleveland Browns decided that Kevin Stefanski, Andrew Berry, Jimmy Haslam said he wasn't worth $30+ million. Now, Baker broke the rookie touchdown record, right? Baker broke that record. Baker had led a team to the playoffs. Baker had shown a lot of upside. He had won playoff games there. Right? Went into Arrowhead and did some things, and they were a couple of plays away from most likely, in all likelihood, upsetting the Chiefs at the time when Patrick Mahomes was Patrick Mahomes. So the Browns made the assessment that Baker Mayfield wasn't worth that. So you're telling me just a few years later, when they're trying to build and get out of another hole, because they have another quarterback who they invested heavily in Deshaun Watson, who's making roughly almost $40 million a year. They're going to invest $35 million on a guy who they don't even know is better than a guy they got at a bottom of the barrel price in the 5th round pick in Shedeur Sanders. Doesn't make sense. As a matter of fact, it never made sense. As a matter of fact, it's ludicrous. And for me, I find it very funny because these are supposed to be individuals who are in our business that understand the cap, that understand what, the progression is as a quarterback, that understand what the future and the long-term outlook is rather than the short-term one, and would not suggest any other team in the league to do that. You'd be hard-pressed to find somebody in our local media that would tell other teams to make that move because they know no other team would probably make that move. Andrew Berry has consistently said where they are in their progress, where they are in their track record. And one of the things that you can look at, now also look at is he said something in the press conference. He said they're not going to be super aggressive in free agency, not necessarily this year, but more like next year. You know what that sounds like? That sounds like, hey, we're gonna go with a young quarterback. We're gonna figure out whether we got something in a young quarterback, and then what we're going to do is once we see and we delineate as we see the progress, we will invest around him to make it a bigger type splash so that we can really definitely get things off and moving and really make our move. But in terms of what he's already told you in one of the other interviews that he's going to heavily invest in offensive firepower. He's already told you he likes some things, and they reiterated that this week. Both Andrew Berry and both Todd Monkin reiterated the things that they like with Shedeur Sanders. They both are on record saying they like his elite playmaking ability. They like the fact that he can make plays out of structure. They like the fact that he shows strides. They also talk to you about what exactly they want him to see him get better at. So to me, I'm going to just be honest with you, man. A lot of this noise and jargon is just basically, there's a lot of people that may not believe in what Shedeur Sanders is saying. But once again, we keep coming up with this circular argument. It's circular, it's headcanon. It's this circular narrative that you say, if the Browns believe that, let's just stop saying if the Browns believe, just say you believe. Because the Cleveland Browns have said none of the sorts. If the Browns want the best chance to win them the most games this year, no one has said that. No one is, Andrew Berry hasn't come out and said, we're picking a quarterback that gives us the best chance to win the most football games. You inserted that, my good sir. Where are all these? Where is it? Where is this energy at? Has Todd Monkin ever came out and told you, well, if we want the best person to give us the best chance to show what we can do in 2026, then we got to go outside the building. It's laughable. It makes no business sense. It makes no financial sense. And the crazy part about it is, it's crazy because a lot of people will do this. See, if you say it, they don't believe it. I don't believe that. Let somebody else say it. Let Breer say it. Let one of your favorite beat reporters say it. All of a sudden, the sense of the Lord comes into you. Well, that makes perfect sense. Well, I mean, I've been making perfect sense since the get-go. Because I'm the only person that told you who was going to be here and who was going to be gone. Did we not? If we're going to pull the resumes, I'm the person who told you how they move people to play somebody. And I'm sitting here telling you, you're getting played like a fiddle again. And I think it's masterful. I think it is masterful. See, Andrew Berry and Todd Monkin, boy, I tell you what, they cooking. See, the thing that makes Todd Monkin special, and we'll talk about decoding what he's talking about a little later on in his second segment. Catch up. He's masterful at being able to diversify what he's saying, giving you just enough to lead you down a path that he wants you to go, but without actually eliminating a lot of different other things on the board. So what they're doing is they're flooding the zone. They're flooding the zone. And you know they're flooding the zone is because people are out there swimming. Always remember, this is a brand new regime. There's nobody who is in that building right now that was there last year that's there this year. D. Podesta's gone. Andrew Berry's in charge. Now, if nobody saw Andrew Berry staying, if nobody saw Andrew Berry being there, if everybody said, I don't know why Andrew Berry is here and Kevin is gone, how much information you think they're getting from Andrew Berry? Zip zero, stingy with De Niro. You have no inside card. There ain't even no insight because he really wasn't running the show, right? Todd Monkin comes in. Todd Monkin was people's last choice. He's been a dude in the league forever. Guess what? We didn't predict that. He got a defensive coordinator. We didn't predict that. Rudy, where he come from? Where are all these hunches coming from? Where are the relationships at in the front office? Where's the relationships between the media? And there is none. Where's these relationships at? This is a fresh slate, just the same way it is for Shedeur Sanders and everybody else. So when we sit here talking about this is why you start to see every single week, guys are reacting off random stories picked up. Nowadays, it's so laughable. It's pick a quarterback and say, is they better than Shedeur? Is that real? Is that real reporting? Let's take a look at people like Tua and Kyler Murray who are going to cost a boatload of money, coming off injuries, and ain't really ever did nothing anyway. And let's say, can you say that they give you the best chance? Guys, come on. That's laughable. It's two L's. It's laughable and it's lazy. You know good and well they ain't getting Kyler Murray. You know that. You understand that they're not in a position economically or financially to even look at Malik Willis like that. And by the way, football-wise, football-wise, there is no case for Malik Willis to even being mentioned. Where was y'all at when Malik Willis was in Tennessee? Where was you at when Will Levis came and got all the minutes? Where was you at when they jettisoned him? Huh? Where was you at? I'm just wondering about where the Malik Willis conversation was. You see, the problem is this in this business. There are people who tell you, and then there are people that accept. They only accept. How you accept what somebody tell you and you didn't even look for it? Where was all this Malik Willis? Tell me why you like Malik Willis. Can you tell me? See, the problem is this. Here's where you get caught up at. You get caught up because you're trying to make it be a comparison between that and Shedeur Sanders. And that's the whole premise. It's not about you watch Malik Willis's tape. It's not about you like his skill set. It's not like that you understand what type of offense and how it translates. You look and say, Lamar Jackson, fast quarterback, mobile. Malik Willis, fast quarterback, mobile. Equate. Todd Monkin may want him. So that's what we do. We go down to the Madden ratings on speed. Anybody over 85 fits Todd Monkin. They don't know Todd Monkin was in Georgia. They don't even watch college football. They wasn't watching when Todd Monkin was doing what he was doing. They don't even watch the Ravens like that. They watch them when the Browns play. Let's be clear. They can't tell you one reason they like Todd Monkin other than everybody keeps repeating his name. They can't tell you why you like him. What's the upside? They just know that we've all kept saying it. And that's where we are at this point. Because to be truthful, everybody is walking around with a paddle in the dark. No flashlight. Don't know where they're going. Because guess what? Everything is a blank slate. Everything is a blank slate. There ain't no, where your sources at? Where they at? I think sometimes people think if you just say it 100,000 times over and over again, that it's going to happen. But I was watching UCSS the other day, and shout out to Jason Lloyd. He even had to say, man, guys, I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. Because if you were all dialed in and was living in reality, which I don't think people are during the offseason, always remember this too. This is all theater. This is theater. I mean, guys, we're in the business of creating news. If ain't no news, create it. Ain't nobody played no other games. If you sitting here saying, hey, Mendoza is moving up the board. Ty Simpson is moving. How you moving up somewhere you ain't playing no games? Shedeur Sanders ain't played no new games. Malik Willis ain't played no new games. I need to know. I need to figure out where is this tape at. But that's what we do. It's okay. It's okay. It is what it is. That's the nature of the beast. But let me tell you something. The reason why they're brilliant, if you watch the 48 Laws of Power, always keep them guessing. Always keep them in the dark. It does you no good to unveil your hand today. What good does coming out telling that people that Shedeur Sanders is the starter? What good does that do? Now, I need thinking people. This is a thinking person's conversation. If you're emotional and you just be doing a lot, and you say, I don't want Shedeur to be a quarterback, just go ahead over there. But even if you just say, for instance, just follow along with me. And even if you don't think Shedeur can play, you'll come to the conclusion that he's probably 95% most likely what's going to be. Let's follow along. Why would I come out as the new head coach of the Cleveland Browns and then say, yeah, I haven't seen Deshaun Watson, Dylan Gabriel, or Shedeur Sanders even learn my playbook? See, what's going to happen is there's going to be a separation of the quarterbacks already. When it gets to the point, when you get to a point when you need to learn the playbook, it's going to be a separation. And the reason it's going to be a separation at that point is because somebody's going to digest it, understand it more, put more time and energy in it, and it's going to fit somebody's skill set. That's one. Two, once you learn the playbook, now it's your ability to go out and put what you learn and apply it to situational football. There's going to be people who know where to throw the ball, but can't get it there. There are going to be people who know where to throw the ball, know the plays, but guess what? You got food. Those things are going to separate people. And then finally, you're going to be put it in play a place where, okay, if things break down, things moving around, I need you to go out here and make some plays for me outside of structure. Who can do that? The people will separate themselves. The players will separate themselves. It is foolhardy, ridiculous, and novice speculation if you don't understand the way football works. The way football works is this. They play it on the field, not in a newspaper. They play it on the field, in the classroom, not messing around on Twitter, speculating. It does Todd Monkin no good to name a starter today, and he don't even know how to digest the playbook. He don't know whether his playbook is suited to a person. He hasn't seen their skills up close and personal. He hasn't had a chance to have his guys coach up the guys. See, this is the thing that you need to come away with. We've gotten so far removed from the actual day-to-day knowledge of football. We've gotten so enamored with AI and all this other stuff and fantasy stuff and 24-hour news cycles that there are very few people who actually still remember what happens and what needs to go down inside a facility in order for you to get good. Todd Monkin needs to have his coaching staff in that room coaching up the quarterbacks to do what he likes to do. But you keep coming in thinking that the quarterbacks are finished products that are genies in the bottle, that when you get them, you spend some money, you rub the genie, and they give you 3 wishes. My first wish is to throw for 5,000. Second wish, make it to the Super Bowl. No, you actually have to go through the process of drafting, developing, getting people in your system, and working. It's the work. Why ain't nobody talking about the work? The work is where you get put on. The work is where you do it. The work right now is right now behind closed doors, there's 3 quarterbacks playing. Dylan Gabriel, Shedeur Sanders, and Deshaun Watson. You guys keep thinking that these guys are going to come with, and somebody's going to come out here and save you. They're not going to save you. There are no heroes. Larry Bird ain't walking through that door. Bernie ain't walking through that door. You got to develop your own game. But then again, you know that. And you know they ain't got no money to get Malik. So, with that being said, we'll get to decoding what they actually said to give you some supporting details. Because evidently, what they say differs from what you say. We'll see which one is true. We'll come back and do it right here on the Ultimate Browns. Make sure you checking out the Ultimate 216 Earl the Pearl. He cooking right now, doing big numbers over there. Make sure you support. Make sure you go over there, hit that notification bell, subscribe to the channel so you know when Earl the Pearl, Cecil, everybody going on there putting in that work. Let's get right back off into this thing. Welcome back to the fastest 30 minutes in sports. It's your boy G. Bush, Ultimate Brown, representing the Kool-Aid Mafia. You guys keep getting fooled. You keep getting fooled. We said it. Malik Willis, where's that coming from? Where's that coming from? I don't know, man. Are you picking names out of the hat? Let's take a look at this. Browns GM Andrew Berry indicated that Shedeur Sanders and Deshaun Watson will be among those competing to be the Browns starting quarterback in 2026. Now, I'm just asking to be truthful, bro. Let's talk a track record. Let's talk about that track record. Now, I told you, when everybody else was jumping up and down, talking about Deshaun Watson shouldn't be on this team. I didn't take no offense to it. I just looked at you like, bro, you know that ain't happening. It's the difference between what you talking about and what the Browns talk about. By the way, the Browns don't have a personal issue with Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson, they made the move. It didn't work. Guess what? Turned out they gave him a lot of money, and they don't have to eat the contract. The Cleveland Browns were never in the business of sending him away with a crazy cap hit. You know why? Because that was your personal opinion. See, there's a lot of personal opinions going on. And it ain't personal, it's just business. We watched The Godfather too, right? Tessio told, what's her name? Tell Mike it was Tessio. You got put in that car for that long walk. Tell Mike. It wasn't personal. It was business. Yeah, Andrew Berry and Jimmy Haslam understand business. And they're not in the business of shooting themselves in the foot to appease you because you don't like what Deshaun Watson stands for. They're not worried about you. I told you you're going to be on the roster. I told you, right? I also told you that those two will be competing. You see, the Cleveland Browns are planning on using their capital. They're using that cap space to get what they actually need. Wide receiver and lineman. And I find it very funny that where we are at today, I find it very funny where we are at today that we can't even talk about linemen and receivers. I mean, obviously, this seems like the most likely scenario where we're going to go after, but we've spent most of our offseason talking about free agent quarterbacks. Pipe dreams. I don't even know where Kyler Murray came from. I don't even know the Malik Willis thing. 6 games, 30 million. Come on now. So let's look at what they're telling us. Let's go back and look at what they've been saying and letting us know. This is Andrew Berry talking about what it is exactly that he's looking to see from Shedeur Sanders?
Competition all up and down the roster, and no different at the quarterback position. I think Shedeur did some really nice things as a rookie. Had his typical rookie struggles, like we saw with all the rookie passers this year, and we're looking forward to seeing him make strides as we move forward. What that room looks like. I wish I had a crystal ball, but I can't predict that right now. What it'll look like as we get to May and as we get to OTAs, but that doesn't scare us. We look at it as an opportunity, and certainly we're looking forward to seeing the growth that Shedeur makes.
Yeah, and is that something that you and Todd Monkin has been able to come together and look at? Because Dylan Gabriel's still in that room as well, right? Who
Absolutely.
was drafted before Shedeur Sanders. So do you envision signing a veteran presence to compete with those guys this season?
I think that's all yet to be determined, to be honest with you. I think a big part of the next few weeks is not only getting to know the veteran market, but the draft class as well. And weighing that against your internal options as well. Todd and I have talked a lot about quarterbacks. He's looked at those guys intently. The three guys that we have in the room, we'll continue to work at it, and we'll see where we land in the next few months.
See, again, another talking point. Why are you asking about where they were? See, this is the craziest part about it. Again, guys, let me just tell y'all something. Once you're in the NFL, once you're there, I need everybody to pay attention. Stop being fixated on draft position. The most meaningless stat and question of that conversation is Dylan Gabriel was drafted over Shedeur Sanders. And what does that have to do with anything when you saw both of them play? You see, now that they're in the NFL, no one gives a you-know-what about where they were taken. It's about whether or not you can play or not. You see, guys, this is another red herring that people ask these questions, and it's ridiculous. Like, you guys are smarter than this. What do you mean you got Dylan Gabriel, who was drafted over Shedeur Sanders, right? So the question he's asking is, what about Dylan Gabriel? But instead of drilling down on Dylan Gabriel and what he brings to the table and why he might be a good option, you go say, are you going to bring in another veteran quarterback to compete with him? You got the most expensive veteran quarterback on the market in Deshaun Watson. What are you talking about? I'm confused. What is this? What is this infatuation with 4 to 5 quarterbacks? They advocate things for the Cleveland Browns that they would never advocate for another team. We just saw how bad it looked when you got 4 quarterbacks and you're trying to run a 4-quarterback situation. We just saw it with Flacco, Pickett, Dylan Gabriel, and Shedeur Sanders. And instead of learning from your mistakes, the same people that said, we're going to have a competition, and, that was a disaster, the coach gets fired, you come right back again and suggest that the new coach do the same thing. No analytic skills. No in-depth. What are you talking about? Why would I do that? You got a veteran quarterback, and he's expensive, and you can't cut him. So guess what that means? He's going to be competing. You got Dylan Gabriel. Y'all want to trade him? I don't care. That's the thing. That's the thing, bro. Every move that you guys are suggesting is a destructive, sabotage-esque move. It looked like it's sabotage. Why would I take a 3rd-round pick and just trade him for free? But you just told us that you liked him. You spent all offseason talking about last offseason about why he was great. You talked all offseason last year about Kenny Pickett and how he was going to be great. And then they traded him to the Raiders, and the Raiders was trash, and now the Raiders is drafted number 1 overall. Why don't I hear nobody talk about the Kenny Pickett train? Where are they at? Where are all the supporters? Because if he was so good when Geno Smith was trash, where was he at? Why aren't you advocating for Kenny Pickett to get a shot over Mendoza? Where's the advocates? I thought so. There are none. It's called whack-a-mole. You for every quarterback that comes up, you just whack it. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, look, I'm just saying. Let's keep it going. Let's get this out of here. Now, contrary to popular belief here, Todd Monkin coming in, doing work. You can ask him questions. Todd Monkin told you, what do you think Shedeur can get here? See, this is what real coaches will tell you. 6 games? 6 games, bro? Well, let me tell you what I do like and that I did see in them 6 games, though. Talk to him, Todd.
I think what you see is elite playmaking ability. That's in him. You've seen it. We've seen it. You saw it in college. You saw it on tape last year. Sure, there's a ways to go, but what rookie isn't? I mean, what first-year player doesn't have a long way to go? So I'm excited to get started with him and all of our quarterbacks and all of our players.
I mean, it's in him. So let me get this straight. So let me put this on record. So Todd Monkin just said he has elite playmaking. So now when we talk about Shedeur Sanders, can we do at least one thing? When you say he's not very good, he was bad, I'm going to defer to what the head coach just said. He said he made plays in college. He said he made plays during the season, and he said he had elite playmaking ability. I don't want to hear nobody talk about throwing on time, EPA. He's not good. What is he good at? He was one of the worst quarterbacks of all time. That is the head coach of the Cleveland Browns, who's won a national championship, 2 of them, who's coached with some of the greatest quarterbacks and led another quarterback, Lamar Jackson, to an MVP. I think he understands a little bit more. So I'm not even going to say myself, because it seems that if I say it, then it's you have to just you get all up in arms. I'm not going to say it. I'll let him say it. You play that remark, because I didn't see him saying anything about Malik Willis's eliteness. Where's the Dylan Gabriel elite quotes? Guys, you see it. Stop playing around. So we could cut the talking point. But gee, he's not good. But gee, listen, you keep telling me if the Cleveland Browns thing, I'm telling you what Todd Monkin just said. He said it was elite. Don't take my word for it. See how that's G. Bush, you cold, man. He ain't no, listen, remember how he wasn't mobile? Remember how Shedeur Sanders, they made Dylan Gabriel more mobile than Shedeur Sanders? Remember that? Remember how all of a sudden he was a statue and he's Deion's son, but he ain't no Deion. Let's talk about this mobility real quick. Can we get to it, Todd? What do you think about mobility?
Quarterbacks have mobility. I think you see that on tape. Shedeur surprised me a little bit in terms of his, it's mobile might be, but he's got a knack. He's got a feel. Like he does in playmaking, he has a real sense in the pocket.
Like he does in playmaking. So tell me, wow. So he has a feel for elite playmaking. He has a knack for moving around in the pocket. He's more mobile than you thought. So when they say he's not good, we can all remember this. I'm gonna go ahead and mark this down in your books, because I'm just gonna say it. I don't listen. It's a lot of deflections. It's a lot of deflections out here. But let's just see what the coach said. Stop always going to, if the Browns is telling you what they believe and you don't believe it, that's on you. Because you don't, that's the thing. That's the red herring. If the Browns believe this, no, you pose that question and it's in your head. The Browns have told you what they think. The Browns have told you what they think.
When it starts to collapse and moving around the pocket, and he made more plays or got himself out of trouble than I would have guessed, than I would have thought even coming out, which was nice to see. As Deshaun has throughout his career, and Dylan has.
It seems like they just keep mentioning him first. By the way, what do the players think?
4 quarterbacks, the challenges. Do y'all have the guy? Is Shedeur the guy?
That's what we're looking at as a guy. No, we're going to give.
boy, I listen, we ain't gonna do too much. Listen, we're not gonna do too much over here. They keep telling you it's up to you to think about what you want to talk about. It's up to you to believe it. It's up to you. Some tells me you won't, though, until it actually happens. On the last segment, we're gonna get to what to expect in the next 120 days. Don't waste your time. I'll tell you what we're gonna expect here in a minute, right here on the Ultimate Browns. Let's get back to it. Ultimate Cavaliers, James Harden has some bad news with the broken hand, but guess what? He's going to try to play through it. Cavs looking solid, good win against the Knicks. If you want Cavs content coming up to the playoffs, make sure you check it out. You'll be able to check that out right here on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show Network. Cleveland Cavaliers, Jason Lloyd, my man, Mikey McNuggets will be breaking it all down for you. It's your one-stop shop for everything Cleveland. Make sure you're checking them out, the Ultimate Cavaliers. Welcome back to the fastest 30 minutes in sports. Let's get back to this. G. Bush, what to expect in the next 120 days. Now, Andrew Berry and Jimmy Haslam always talk about the next 120 days and how pivotal they are. So what do you expect? For me, let's talk about this, and I think we'll drill down on it and what you need to take into consideration how this works. The biggest part that you're going to watch coming up in the next 120 is they're going to start to really get to a point where now those guys are going to be behind the scenes getting to that playbook. You know, Shedeur Sanders is locked and loaded behind the scenes. He didn't already sent your boy Todd Monkin a birthday gift. Quinshon Judkins is in a walking boot. He looks like he's going to be back ready to go. Luke Whippler, Andrew Berry, this during the last couple of days said he should be ready to go. Joe Botonio, they're trying to wear him down, trying to figure out what's going on with him so he can get back into the mix. So there's a lot of things going on for the Cleveland Browns. And over the next 120, behind the scenes, they're going to start their program. Coaching staff is in the building. Coaching staff is there. They're going to start talking to those players individually, coming through the facility, talking to them, meeting with them, telling them expectations, working on the plays, understanding where they need to go, and getting his philosophy out there. This is huge. And for all these people out there, listen, this right here is new energy. I'm here for the new energy, bro. All this other stuff, listen, at the end of the day, close circles and close ranks. You know what we need. Everybody know this team know what we need. We need a receiver. We need offensive linemen. We know exactly what we need. We need production from those positions. We also need Shedeur Sanders and all the quarterbacks locked and loaded and ready to go. This is what happens when new coaches come in. It's new energy. It's new competition, and it's a new way of going after it. I love what Todd Monkin said. He said, listen, I'm not in a business of putting a cap on my wins. I ain't in the business of doing nothing like that. We're going to come out here and we're going to get it done. And he also says something that was very valuable. He said, listen, the one thing that I'll say that really caught my eye was the fact that at the end of the season, the Cleveland Browns had 2 wins, right? They went out there, they had 3 wins. They went out there, lost to the Buffalo Bills by 3 points. Came back out there against the Pittsburgh Steelers at home, and they could have clinched on our field. They got that win. Then ended the season with another win with the Cincinnati Bengals, and they had Joe Burrow. He said, that told me something. We not that far away. If that said, so let me see this. If he just told you that, and we ain't that far away, what does that have to go do with getting Kyler Murray? He said, we not that far away with the catch we already got. See, the problem was there was one coach here that didn't believe in what we had. There was one coach here that didn't maximize what we had. There was one coach here that didn't speak no life into him. Think about it. I done heard Todd Monkin say 75 more words about Shedeur Sanders than I heard Kevin Stefanski say 1. Our young guys. Yeah, I heard your interviews. He said, yeah, I should, you might want to open up a little more. You did all that smoke and mirrors just to do what? Get shadow round? Todd Monkin believes in the guys he's here. And for everybody that didn't believe in the guys who's here, who cares? Fieldhouse, deuces. Udinsky, peace out. Anybody that didn't believe what we was trying to do, you're not on the train. You're not on the train. I want somebody that believes in the Cleveland Browns, what they're trying to do, and believes that they can get it turned around. And if you're not with that, we wish you the best of luck. But everything we doing right here is Browns first. Hashtag New Cleveland. We're not playing around. Oh, they don't want the job because they didn't believe. So what? Get out. Bye. Peace out, bro. This ain't a good. All right, then. We wish you the best of luck, homie. We need new energy, new competition, new swag, new believability. That's what we on. It's time out for the rest of that stuff. If you don't want, listen, if you want to, if you don't believe in nothing and you don't believe what the Browns is doing and every other comment is, oh my gosh, they're so terrible. They're so terrible. This is a new regime with new energy. If I said that I want a new fresh look, Todd Monkin is come bringing that fresh look, let's cook. First and foremost, I'm a Browns fan. I do the most Browns content. I'm from the trenches. We from here. So what we trying to do is win. I want the trophy. I don't care nothing about the Bengals. I don't care nothing about the Ravens. I don't care nothing about the Steelers. Stop talking to me about Josh Allen. Joe Burrow ain't your quarterback here. Huh? Patrick Mahomes is cool, but I don't eat birthday cake with him. Stop telling me Trevor Lawrence is on the incline. Stop mentioning Richardson as a reclamation project. Malik Willis, I don't even like the Packers colors. If you not what we bringing in that new Cleveland, sorry, bro. Next 120, we getting locked and loaded. We getting locked in. And what you should be locked and loaded is and getting locked in is figuring out what we gonna do in this draft. And if you were smart, you'd be pulling up because I'm gonna tell you what we're gonna do. But that's for another day. With that being said, you never know what G. Bush might show the radio, television, internet, but you want the fresh cut on sports. Remember, I keep all the Clippers with me. Have a great rest of your evening. And as always, you know what it is, hashtag New Cleveland, and it's Go Browns.